mother-in-laws, they will question your sanity. When they start with you, you will sit down and ask yourself, am I okay or I'm not? This Nigerian mother-in-law actually showed her true color. I'm not surprised because I'm in Nigeria, I'm living in Nigeria, and this is a normal thing. This is what they do. In fact, they even do worse. And this is reality TV. I was expecting her to actually be social, and she's not even in Nigeria. She's in the abroad. So she's supposed to even have, I feel like her own is even tush. If she was really in Nigeria and she was actually acting like a Nigerian mother-in-law, the internet will not stop talking about the situation. Let me show you all the video. After eating, you cannot take your plate to the kitchen. And now you are actually shouting on your future daughter-in-law or your daughter-in-law to be that you're supposed to take my plate to the kitchen because that is the culture that shows respect and all of that. I feel like I'm in the right place to talk about it because I am a Nigerian girl. In case you don't know, I am in Nigeria. I am living in Nigeria. And this particular behavior and character from mother-in-laws is a norm. If you want to get married, if you're an American woman and you want to get married to a Nigerian man and you meet their family for the first time, you must be tested wife material duties. You cannot enter the family house and you don't enter the kitchen. If the mother-in-law is in the kitchen, if your mother-in-law is in the kitchen cooking and you cross your leg in the sitting room, you have failed as a daughter-in-law to be. If you enter the kitchen and you don't help and wash all the plates after everybody finish eating, you have failed as a wife material. If you don't carry broom and sweep the whole floor, you have failed. You're not going to pass. They're not going to allow you to marry their son. So this is like a normal thing that usually happen in Nigeria, in my society. See, the way you have to worship your mother-in-law, even your mom would rather let you disrespect her just to respect your mother-in-law. Your husband to be, okay? The one you want to marry, is it that you've married him or you want to marry him or you're about to marry him, whatever it is, let me just say your husband will also fight you for disrespecting his mom, knowing that his mom was wrong. If you're an American woman and you're married to a Nigerian man and you're watching this video, how is your family members? How is your mother-in-law? Let me know your thought down in the comment section. I have a reaction on this video. Let's go ahead and watch what other people are saying about this video. Then we'll come back and talk about it.
Under the patriarchy, women are the commodities that they promise everybody in order to get them to comply. So for men, especially young men, they promise them as long as you lose your empathetic side, your feminine side, or any side of you that actually makes you a human being, then you get to control every woman, right? Every other woman gets to be underneath you in the ranking on the patriarchy. And you also get to control, dominate, do whatever you want with that one woman who you marry. And the patriarchy will give you its backing to do that in the future. Now, for women, they promise them, oh, as long as you're useful and resourceful to the patriarchy and obedient to other men, in the future, when you get older, it becomes your turn. So you get to control younger women, and you also get to control the women who your sons will get to marry as well. So there's this woman who has suffered in the hands of her husband, like dearly, and we're talking about the abuse that this woman has been through with a family member of mine. And she told me that, can't I see that this woman is now enjoying the benefits of her children now that she's older, and the man who suffered her, who made her go through all of that, is now dead, and she gets to be the matriarch of her family, right? And everyone else gets to pretty much worship her. So it's like it's now her turn over her husband's turn, right? So now watch this video. Just in case you wonder why older women, especially in Africa, tend to support the patriarchy, or they're like pick me women, this is the reason, because it's their turn to dominate other women, who mostly are women who their sons marry, right? So this is the reason why they are extreme pick me's, because it feels like it is now their turn. So you cannot come and end this thing when it is now my turn. So that is why the cycle keeps going on and on. Because the present women who are suffering right now, one would think by the time they are older, they will want to stamp their foot down to call out the patriarchy in its form. But no, they will not do that because they feel like it is their turn typical of what this woman is doing here. She believes that she has a right to be worshipped because she has also served, she has paid her dues. So it is time for her dues to be returned to her. Secondly, you're a woman, you don't want to marry into this family. This boy, this man that she's marrying is a stupid person. Clearly asking her to go back and kneel down. Why? Because they tend to minimize her own culture because she's a woman. Her cultures are not necessary. So their own culture supersedes, his own culture supersedes her own culture. That is why they think she has to go back and apologize. Because for some reason, if you're marrying a man, it's like the whole of you, it's like it's over for you, and everything has to, you have to drop everything you know, everything you come from, and pick up everything that this man has or is willing to offer you. Even though it is harmful to you, you still have to pick it up.
I'm choosing not to fight this battle.
Yeah, and it's important not to be slow about it. We go straight up to her and kneel. In the Nigerian culture, in order for my mom to receive us both, we had to humble ourselves and kneel in front of her and apologize.
If it's gonna make her feel like I respect the culture more, it doesn't cost me anything to show that. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I do.
You have to respect me. I'm not your man. She has to respect me. He respects me. She has to take my place.
Yeah, the mother-in-law saying she's not the maid because she wants the daughter-in-law to be her maid. Yeah. People will always tell on themselves. Unhealed older women from patriarchal cultures are the absolute worst because they've sacrificed their youth. You know, they let themselves be made a fool of, and now they want their reward, and their reward is you. The tables have turned in exchange for all their sacrifices and upholding the patriarchy. Now they're supposed to get somebody else to look down upon. Now she wants to move into your house and take over. Her husband was probably horrible to her, abusive and controlling, and she had her husband. You know, she had her son for her emotional connection, as her emotional outlet, and now she wants to move into your house and have her full-blown relationship with her son and have you to be her maid, have you be the compensation for the youth she didn't get. First of all, as a Black American woman myself, I strenuously advise other Black American women to watch what you allow into your life. My bestie is Nigerian, and she's like, no Nigerians. Every woman who I've ever met from another part of the diaspora, be it the DRC, be it Jamaica, be it Haiti, they're like, none of those men for me. Because they have a very rules for thee and not for me mentality, and their mothers uphold them in it. Their mothers think that they can do no wrong, and whether he cheats on you, beats you, has outside children, lives his life, she's going to expect you to be on hands and knees, bended, serving her son and her as well. And the future mother-in-law got more comfortable than she would have off rip being very rude to this girl because she is Black American. She felt entitled to scream and shout and act the complete ass. And I just know she wouldn't have done that even with a second or third generation Nigerian girl who was completely Americanized. She might still have outrageous expectations, but there's a level of dehumanization and a level of entitlement because she wants to establish the hierarchy right now. Like, these women are acting like their sorry-ass sons are the prize. And if you want to marry their little prince, you have to crawl on the floor and beg for her approval. And I don't care if the man is white, Black, if he comes from America, the UK, Cameroon, Nigeria, Cambodia. If the mother-in-law-to-be is acting like she's the woman of the house by virtue of her age, her relationship with her son, her culture, whatever, know that it's way too much of a headache to be dealing with. Run the opposite direction. Yeah. But this is a very specific manifestation that does tend to happen in older women. They have always been told they're going to get rewarded in the future. All their sacrifices are going to be made up for at the end of their life, and they're looking for you to be the compensation. And it's not going to stop with you taking a plate. It's going to extend to how, she wants to raise your children. These women want to be centered because they have never been centered before. They've always been the one making the sacrifice. And now they say it's my time to shine, and they are going to make you miserable. Watch out. Like and follow for more.
Tonight, you came over.
And I am sorry to say this, but most of our African mothers and aunties have internalized a lot of abuse in the hands of their own in-laws and in their own marriage, such that when they become mother-in-laws, they want to punish their son's wife, and they expect their son's wife to equally go through some of the abuse that they endured when they were married. Because clearly, your Nigerian son is marrying an African-American woman. In the African-American culture, I am sure the way they show respect to their mother-in-laws is different. They do not have to wash their mother-in-law's plate after she's finished eating to show respect. However, in the Nigerian culture and in many African cultures, taking your mother-in-law's plate or even your parents' plate and washing it after they have finished eating is a sign of respect. There is a concept in sociology called cultural relativism. That simply means that you do not impose your culture on others. However, you respect other people's culture based on the terms of that culture. Your daughter-in-law to be is an African-American woman. And so as a mother-in-law, your job is to be more patient and to be more flexible and to be more open-minded. Also, you live in America. At least you should understand the cultural differences. But look at her behavior, taking her typical Nigerian traditional mentality to America and trying to impose the Nigerian culture on a woman who is not Nigerian. I'm sorry to say this, most of our African aunties and mothers were abused by their in-laws. They were made to go through a lot in the hands of their in-laws, such that when their sons get married, they think it is time to also make their daughter-in-law go through the same thing because it's a rite of passage. Oh, I did that for my own husband's people, so you must also do that for me. No. Dear African aunties and African mothers, I know some of you secretly envy the type of freedom and liberty that we have as women in this generation, but please do not project all the abuse you endured in the hands of your own in-laws. Times have changed, and I believe that as a mother-in-law, your goal is to love your daughter-in-law and to guide her in a healthy way. You are not supposed to be angry and saying that your son is being a wimp for a woman simply because you are acting out of character and you are demanding respect. Also, respect is earned. Respect is not given by force. We need to unlearn this toxic African cultural thing that, oh, somebody is older and so you must respect your elders, even when elders are acting out of character. Even when elders are not respecting themselves, you expect us to respect them. Those days are over. The fact that you are an elder or you are the mother-in-law does not mean that you must demand respect. Respect is given based on the way you conduct yourself, and the way you are conducting yourself, you clearly will not earn respect. And also, you do not want your son to marry somebody who is not a Nigerian. And that is the reason why she's upset, because her son chose a woman that she did not approve of. And this is the reason why I say this, that as a woman, even if you have a family and you have children, have a life of your own, so you do not center your entire life around your children, because most of our African mothers sacrificed for their children. As a result, they have an unhealthy attachment to their children, and therefore they impose themselves in their children's life and sometimes want to control the decisions that their children make. And this is a clear example. Dear African mothers and dear African aunties, we are not your generation, and we will not endure the types of abuse that you endured in the hands of your in-law. So please, learn to work on all the harm that has been done to you and heal and show up as loving and caring and better mother-in-laws. My name is Dr. Zita. I am a sociologist. If you're not following, guess what? Hit the follow button.
So you're telling me because your American fiance asked how come she's required to play the servant role and pick up your mother's plate when your mother has good working hands, you're telling me that that grandmother had the right to denigrate that poor girl, yell at her in the name of culture. So because of culture, we're going to act like it's okay for an elderly person to lose their mind, to lose their manners, to forget their Christ-centered values. Because they asked, how come you cannot take your plate? I've cooked for you. I've run all types of errands for you. For you to take your plate 2 feet to the kitchen now, it has become cultural assault. There are so many things that we continue to condone in the name of culture. But guess what? Cultures change. We can actually decide that, you know what, let us review this thing that we are calling culture and let's see what kind of change we can make. Because of culture, if a boy should bring a girlfriend home and introduces him to his mom to say, Mom, this could be my wife, because of culture, she must become and transform into a servant. When she gets there, she must decide, oh my God, let me go and scrub the house. Let me go and help mommy cook. In fact, mommy will not cook. I'll say, Mommy, sit down, let me finish cooking, just so I can audition for the glorious position of wife to your son, because of culture. Why do we like to pretend that there are many aspects of this our so-called culture that are highly misogynistic? Why do we pretend as if we don't foster animosity between mother-in-laws and potential wives? Now, the irony of this entire thing was the mother was using culture as a premise to excuse her terrible behavior. But my question is, does the girl not have culture? The irony is you left the land of your original culture, okay? You crossed over and you immigrated to a new place that has a different culture from you. The girls from that culture, and instead of respecting that culture by understanding that they support women's rights and they're not as sexist as you want to impose your toxic culture. From the girl's culture, she cannot understand why an able-bodied elderly somebody cannot carry their plate to the sink. So she's confused. So she asked, why can't you take your dish to the sink? And it became a cultural war. What about her culture? Why is your culture the one that we have to carry on top of our head? And the last question I pose to you, if our culture is so great that it doesn't require updates, why are you in a different country? That's the other thing. There are people in the comment section saying, oh, mommy should not have shouted, but culturally speaking, why, she shouldn't have asked mommy about carrying her plate to the sink. You guys should use your head. Is everything that is in the culture very good? If the culture is so great, how come we don't have the happiest women in life? The question posed by this girl is one that stems from critical thinking. Why do we continuously require young women who are auditioning for wives to take on so much labor? Why is it that when you see a young woman that's coming to a family to marry, she's expected to become magical slave? It's our culture, it's our culture. Shebi, you are abroad. If the culture was so great, Shebi, the country will be moving forward. It's not. At some point, you have to admit the culture is very poisonous. Update your lives, I beg. Culture.
Not 100% mother-in-laws will act that way. Some are very respectful. Some will respect you because they demand respect from you, so they'll respect you first. Some know that they cannot see you as a slave, but I feel like the norm in all African homes is for you to respect your elder ones. Yes, respecting your elder ones is a good thing. I feel like respecting even younger person is a good thing. You respect everybody, and I feel like if you want people to respect you, you should respect them back. If you as a young person talk back as an older person, people will talk to you, people will blame you, people will insult you without not even knowing what happened. They'll say, but this person is an elderly person. You shouldn't talk to the person like this. You shouldn't do this person like this. Just like you, for example, if you're going no contact to your parents, people will tell you, no matter what happened, you should not go no contact to your parents. They are your parents. They are entitled. The way elderly people feel entitled where I'm from, they are never wrong. And you know what? Most of those elderly people, they are very wicked. And they will do things because they know that they will always get away with this. Talking about mother-in-laws are the most wicked people on earth. And the thing is, they act wickedly because they were treated the same way when they got married to their husband. So they want to let the chain continue like that. A mother-in-law will always want to frustrate the daughter-in-law in the house. She will always want to make sure that you're a slave for her. She will always make sure that you do everything just to please her and her son. So mother-in-laws will frustrate you to the extent that you don't even have peace in your home. If you have mother-in-law issue, put it down in the comment section because there are a lot of married women that are suffering in their marriages. It's not because of their husband though. It's because of the husband family. And one thing about you marrying to a Nigerian family, a Nigerian home, is that you are marrying the family. It's not all this marriage or weddings you guys do in the abroad. You just go and stand somewhere and just you and your friend, you just tie the knot. No. If you want to do proper wedding in Nigeria, it's like you're doing wedding for families. The family member you have never seen before in your entire life will stand on your matter like this and will not let you get married that day if they did not drop some certain things for bride price or something. They carry your matter on their head like they know you before. If you're doing a wedding in Nigeria, it's as if you're doing a wedding for a Nigeria family. It's like you're appreciating the family. It is not for you. Your wedding as a Nigerian woman is not for you. That is why you see most weddings, people that do weddings in Nigeria, after they've done the whole family own, they have to leave Nigeria and go elsewhere to do other weddings. They call it probably dinner thing, or I don't know. They just do something for their friends so that they can enjoy the kind of ceremony that they want. Don't get me wrong, Nigerian parties are very interesting. Like, you will never regret going to a Nigerian party. But I'm just telling you that once you want to get married to a Nigerian home, you are marrying the family. So if you as a daughter-in-law, you don't carry your family, your in-laws matter on your head like this, you're at fault. Even your family member, your own family member, is going to come for you for not putting your happiness aside just to make your in-laws happy. They will want you to leave everything you're doing just to make your in-laws happy. And you know the worst part of it is, if you're married to a man that is a mama's boy, is worse. Because mother-in-laws are wicked. Then you're not married to a son that does whatever his mom does or says, wants to please his mom no matter what. If the mom is wrong, he doesn't call out the mom's BS. Is worse. Okay, so if you know that you want to get married to a Nigerian man and you are sensing mama's boy, please just leave him, because at the end of the day you will regret it. They are always doing anything their mom wants. They don't call out whatever BS their mom did. I'm not saying don't respect your elders, but you finish eating your food. You are not in Nigeria. Like, if it was a Nigeria setting, okay, she has to carry the plate, you guys. She will have to, because especially if it is in her house, they came to visit her, she will have to clear the dishes and she will wash the dishes because it's her house. If it's in the mother-in-law's house, I don't know if she has to carry the plate, but she will have to wash the dishes if there is nobody available to wash the dishes. If she doesn't wash the dishes and just leave the dishes there, she will have a problem, because she's not even yet a wife. If she's yet a wife, she'll be the one to cook the food. And see, it takes a lot when it comes to marriage, when it comes to centering men around everything. When it comes to Nigeria, we are number one, okay? They put men in their head like there's nothing, and they treat you that way because they were treated that way. It is like a chain. It's like a chain. So if you have a mother-in-law that is very sweet, they are rare, but they are available. So if you have them they are very sweet to you, they don't stress you, they respect you. See that respect? For an elderly person to respect you, even the fact that they know that you are marrying their son, that's just the best. Most of them don't respect you. They want you to respect them, but they disrespect you. Most of them don't even want you to have peace in that house, because they feel like you're taking a part of their child away from them, and they want to assess you. So there's something they call wife material where I'm from. They call it wife material. So for you to be a wife material, you cooking, cleaning, doing so many things for your in-laws, especially your mother-in-law, is very important before you get married. That is why your Nigerian boyfriend or your fiancé will take you to his house to meet his mom, and the mom will test you to see if you're going to be a good wife. You know what? I'm not capping. It's not like I'm saying something. This is what happens, okay? They will test you to see if you're going to be a good wife to their son. So the test, it is not rewriting exam. It is, they're going to leave dirty dishes in the zinc. She's going to enter the kitchen, and if you don't follow her, you failed. They're going to give you food with plenty meat. If you finish the food, you failed. So many things. In fact, if you don't bring a gift, sometimes you failed. If you don't kneel down with your two legs on the floor to greet, you failed. They don't even want to care where your own culture, or what is your own culture. Do you hear what she said? It is our culture, and you have to listen. They don't want to listen to what your culture is saying. If your culture is telling you that you have to do clear whatever dishes. They don't care. You have to leave your family, leave your own culture, leave whatever you've learned, leave who you are, and do whatever makes them happy. Both the man and the mother-in-law. Not just the mother-in-law, some sisters-in-law, some brother-in-law will frustrate you. But if you have a mother-in-law that frustrates you, you see the rest will follow. But if you have a mother-in-law that respects you, that is good to you, just as she's good to her son, the rest, the sister, the brother, the friend, anybody of the in-law, they are going to respect you as well. So yeah, I'm not shocked about the whole thing. It's just funny to me. I just tell you guys, this is what happens in Nigerian homes. Mother-in-laws are like that. Like, I'm not shocked. And the thing is, this generation are not like that anymore. Like, if you a mother-in-law in Nigeria, you're in Nigeria and you're a mother-in-law, probably your son is married and you're watching this video. Your daughter-in-law does not send you. To be honest, if you don't respect them, they put you one side. Gone are the days whereby women will worship their mother-in-laws and make sure they love them. That was then. Women now are now like, see, both you and your son, get out of here. Nobody cares anymore. It is not like before anymore. But some of them are failing to understand, and it's paining them because they didn't choose to enjoy the things they thought they were going to enjoy, if that makes sense. Anyway, what is your take on this conversation, on this trend? Let me know your thought down in the comment section respectfully. It is your girl Mara David, and thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this one. Like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff, please, you guys, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.